Okay, we are resuming the California Coastal Commission, and we're going to take up the South Coast District items, beginning with our Deputy Director's report, which is item 14 on our agenda today.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So that brings us to item 14, and this is the Deputy Director's report for the Los Angeles County portion of the South Coast District. The report includes 13 waivers and 5 immaterial permit amendments. 4 of these waivers are de minimis waivers for the demolition and construction of single-family residences in the Venice area of the city of LA. And obviously today we see that there is a fair amount of opposition to the waivers in the Venice area. These projects are located in built-out areas of the Venice area on very small lots. And these proposed residences are also consistent with the development standards of the certified LUP for Venice. And for many years now, the Commission has approved the demolition of new residences as permit waivers, demolition and construction of new residences as permit waivers, primarily because they don't raise any Coastal Act or significant Coastal Act resources in our view. Now, the issue of whether or not these new residences are consistent with the character of the community or that area, this has been debated and argued before the Commission for many, many years, ever since I've been here for 25 years or so. And these, they've been argued through individual permit actions as well as when the LUP was certified back in the 1990s. Now, development standards were approved to deal with the size and scale of development in different geographic areas of Venice. But the LUP does not include any specific design standards to ensure that new development conforms with that existing architectural style of a certain area. So one question you may be asking is, why is the Commission processing waivers for development in the city's single coastal permit jurisdiction, and why isn't the city processing these waivers? Well, just for some background for the new commissioners, the city of LA is the only jurisdiction in the state of California to implement a specific provision of the Coastal Act that allows a local government to issue coastal development permits prior to the certification of a local coastal program. And under the program, there are 2 areas of permit jurisdiction. There's a single permit jurisdiction where the city is responsible for issuing CDPs. And the single permit jurisdiction covers the more inland portions of the Venice area and the coastal area about 300 feet inland from the beach. Now, the permits issued by the city may be appealed to the Commission, and the Executive Director can appeal these directly to the Commission as well. Now, in the dual permit area, which is a strip along the coast, which is sort of equivalent to our appeals area in a certified area, the Commission approves the coastal development permit as well as the city. So there's 2 permits in that case. Now, the city does not have the ability to waive permit requirements in the single permit or in the dual permit areas. Therefore, the development projects, no matter how minor they are required to go through the full city permit process, including there are significant permit fees involved here, running into thousands of dollars, and can take months to work through the city process. Now, years ago, well before my time, the Commission staff and the city staff agreed to process de minimis waivers for minor developments that did not raise significant adverse impacts to coastal resources. And this practice has continued for many years, and the Commission has approved or has concurred with those waivers. Now, the whole point behind that process was to provide this more efficient means to process these very minor coastal development permits. Of course, the certification of a full LCP would be the best way to improve permit efficiencies in the city. And more recently, as you have noticed, the processing of waivers for demolitions of homes, not only in the city of the Venice portion of the city of LA, but also for the Pacific Palisades, has been quite controversial in some instances. And Venice is seeing an increase in the numbers of the demolition and rebuilds of homes in this area with larger and greater size or larger homes because there's been this a lot of economic development in the area. A lot of high-tech companies are moving in the area, these internet startup companies. And so there's a lot of money coming to the area and a lot of development pressures to turn these, to redevelop these properties. So one strategy to deal with this issue of the controversy with these waivers is to simply refuse to process these types of developments through the waiver process and require every development project to go through the city's coastal development review process. Now, this strategy would certainly provide an incentive to move for the city to move forward with the certification of LUP because there'd be a lot of pressure on the city to approve that LCP to approve these efficiencies in permitting. And Charles and I have discussed this strategy and have been considering it for some time. To implement this, but this causes some problems with regard to the applicants as well, who are processing these permits for these very minor developments, in that they will be delayed for a long time, and it would cost a fair amount of money. But in these particular cases, we believe that these permit waivers do not raise any significant adverse impacts to coastal resources. And we are recommending that the Commission concur with our recommendation on these 4 demolition and rebuild projects and these 4 de minimis waivers. Now, if 4 commissioners object to a waiver of a permit requirements for these projects, a CDP will be required, and we'll have to schedule that for a later hearing. And finally, staff is not aware of any opposition to the other items in the district director's report, and we recommend the Commission concur with the executive director's determination on these matters. So that concludes my presentation on the district director's report.